Well, Sri Lanka was the focus of local and international attention today, with democracy apparently as questions of constitutionality dominating the media's attention. Parliament convened to Ruckus House. We've got a detailed report. Good evening and welcome to Primetime News. I'm Shani Jarampati. Let's start off with a look at tonight's headlines.
Parliament convenes. Speaker says government has no majority. Motion against the Prime Minister signed by 122 MPs. Minister Mahinda Samarasinghe says until President appoints new Prime Minister, the current government will continue to function. Sajith Premadasa ready for any challenge that follows decisions taken by the party.
Well, starting off our news bulletin tonight. We would like to direct your attention to the incidents that transpired in Parliament this morning.
The Supreme Court issued an interim order against the Gazette notification issued by the President that dissolved Parliament. As per the order, the Speaker decided to convene Parliament today and also chaired a party leaders' meeting at the Parliamentary Complex at 8:30 this morning. It was decided at the party leaders' meeting to allow the House to decide on the day's proceedings. Representatives of the United Nations and ambassadors of a number of countries also arrived in Parliament today. Before the commencement of parliamentary sessions, a no-confidence motion against Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and his cabinet, bearing the signatures of JVP MPs Anurakumara Dissanayake and Vijitha Herath, was presented to the Speaker of Parliament. Parliamentary sessions began at 10 a.m. this morning. UNP MPs arrived in Parliament clad in black scarves. After Parliament was convened under the auspices of the Speaker, the General Secretary of Parliament, Dhammika Dasanayake, read out the statement of the President.
ජනාධිපති මෛත්‍රීපාල සිරිසේන වන මම වර්ෂ 2018ක් වූ නොවැම්බර් මාස 14 වැනි දින පෙරවරු 10ට ශ්‍රී ජයවර්ධනපුර පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ කාලයේදී පාර්ලිමේන්තුව රැස්වන ලෙස කැඳවන බව මෙයින් දැනගත යුතුය.
Please to
Tamil National Alliance MP M.A. Sumanthiran proposed for all standing orders to be suspended and the activities of the chambers to continue.
whatever is Honorable Speaker, I second it. I second Mr. Sumanthiran's proposal.
මීළඟ දිනේට පාර්ලිමේන්තුව කල්තැබිය යුතුයයි යෝජනා කරනවා.
මේ තීරණ මම ගන්නෑ. මම සභාවේ අනුමැතිය අරන් ඒ තීරණය දෙන්න.
සාවර නියෝගවලට ආණ්ඩුක්‍රම ව්‍යවස්ථාව උල්ලංඝනය කරන්න බෑ.
Subsequently, Anrukumara Dissanayake stated that the vote on the no confidence motion should be done today.
මෙම යෝජනාවට අදාළව දැනුම් දීම පිළිබඳව ස්ථාවර නියෝග තිබෙන සභාවේ එක්කද? සභාවේ එක්කද? සභාවේ එක්කද? සභාවේ එක්කද? බෞද්ධද? සභාවේ එක්කද? බෞද්ධරයක් එකඟයි.
එන්තුව
න්‍යාය පුස්තකයට යෝජනාව ගෙනාවට පස්සේ තමයි විවාද කරන ඡන්ද විමසීමක් කරන්නේ. එහෙම නැතුව මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තු ඉතිහාසයේ විශ්වාසභංග යෝජනාවක් ගෙනාපු දවසේම ස්ථාවර නියෝග අස්තිටවල විවාදයට අරගෙන ඡන්ද විමසන ක්‍රමයක් නැහැ. තමුන්නාස පක්ෂග්‍රාහී සභාවේ සම්ප්‍රදාය උල්ලංඝනය කරලා නීතියට පටහැනිව යන මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුව පවත්වාගෙන යන්න උත්සාහ කරන්නේ.
මේ සභාව තීරණය කරන්න එච්චරයි. කවුද විරුද්ධ?
ස්ථාවර නියෝග අත්හිටවීම සඳහා සභාව එකඟ බැවින් මම මෙම යෝජනාව ඉදිරිපත් කරනවා. අනුර දිසානායක මන්ත්‍රීතුමා විසින් ගෙනෙන විශ්වාසභංග යෝජනාව මම ස්ථිර කරනු ලබනවා.
මගේ තීරණයක් නෙමෙයි. සභාවේ බහුතරයක් මේ යෝජනාව අනුමත කළා. අපි ඒක තීරණයක් ගන්න ඕනේ. අපි ඡන්දයක් ගන්නවා.
During the tensions that broke out in Parliament, 3 government members, namely Manusha Nanayakara, Piyasena Gamage and AHM Fauzi, wailed across the floor and took their seat in the opposition.
මේ යෝජනාවට සභාව එක්කද? මේ යෝජනා පක්ෂව මේ යෝජනාවට විපක්ෂව මේ යෝජනාවට විපක්ෂව වගන හඬනව මට දැනට පත්තරදී ආණ්ඩුවට බහුතරයක් බයිනේම් ගමු ඡන්දයක් දෙන්න නැත්නම් මට හඬනව තීරණයක් දෙන්න වෙනවා. ඒකට අවස්ථාව දෙන්න එපා. එමනම් මම අවසාන වතාවට කියනවා මේ ඡන්දය හඬනව දෙනවා. මේ අනුව දැනට පත් කර ඇති ආණ්ඩුව බහුතරයක් නොමැති නිසා මම මේ අවස්ථාව ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා. There is no major further.
Following the end of parliamentary proceedings, MPs from both the ruling party and the opposition exited the chambers. They were only shouting, no one opposed. Everything in Parliament happened lawfully. This is the process. I mentioned that standing orders can be suspended at any time and a proposal can be brought. The Speaker destroyed the respect of Parliament without adjourning Parliament till the next day. It is evident today that Mahinda Rajapaksa does not have a majority. It is clearly simple by the way they act, how undemocratic their actions are. There is a possibility of suspending standing orders on certain days. It was only after the standing orders were suspended that the no confidence motion was handed over. That was what a majority of members were asking for. The Speaker is the guardian of all MPs and accordingly he allowed the MPs to make a decision. They can bring a no confidence motion against us. No, if Ranil Wickremesinghe wants to be the Prime Minister, he can simply hand over a petition to the President with the signatures of 113 MPs. The President will appoint him in the same way he appointed Mahinda Rajapaksa. Meanwhile, at the end of the parliamentary meeting, a proposal signed by 122 MPs was handed over to the Speaker. The proposal reads, the extraordinary gazettes issued by the President removing Ranil Wickremesinghe as the Prime Minister and dissolving Parliament was unconstitutional and is not valid according to the law. It further says, due to the above reasons, they do not have any confidence in Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa or his government. Issuing a communique this afternoon, the Speaker's office said a copy of this proposal has been directed to the President to aid in making future decisions.
Leader of the United National Party Ranil Wickremesinghe, opposition leader R. Sambandhan and other parliamentarians who support Ranil Wickremesinghe convened a media briefing at the parliamentary complex.
Today is a historic day. The Parliament voted that the 3 gazettes which has been in question are illegal and that the purported government of Mahinda Rajapaksa does not have the confidence in the House. 122 members of Parliament have now informed the Speaker that they voted in favour of the resolution. That's the majority of the House. Cannot be challenged, but if anyone wants to challenge it, they can move a resolution challenging the Speaker's decision tomorrow. And now we have proved that there is a purported administration which does not enjoy the support of Parliament and therefore it's illegal. This is also to inform government servants and the police that you cannot carry out illegal orders. The government has now, it must carry out the orders of the lawful government. A purported government that has lost the confidence of the people have no right to be there. So that has now ceased to exist.
We went to court. The first petition filed in the Supreme Court challenging the order of dissolution of Parliament was filed by me on behalf of my party. That matter was taken up for inquiry yesterday and the court has suspended the operation of that Gazette declaration, the operation of the dissolution of Parliament and the consequential steps pertaining to the elections. We have thereby preserved the sanctity of the Constitution, the supreme law of the country. We have thereby ensured that the rule of law prevails in this country. The independence of the judiciary has been demonstrated by the judiciary yesterday. And the independence of the legislature has been demonstrated by the decision taken by 122 members against the present government, against the continuance of Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa as the Prime Minister of this country. This legislature, in the exercise of its supreme power, has taken the decision by 122 members, signing a motion to that effect. Therefore, it's time now for the country to return to normalcy, for good governance to prevail, and we would appeal to all those persons in authority to do the right thing, to do the legal thing, and not to violate the law of the country.
They must accept the fact that they should hand over the government respectfully and leave without causing a crisis in the country. We went to court saying that the dissolution of Parliament was illegal. We have received a verdict that protects democracy. We make a request from the President to grant the request of 122 parliamentarians.
මම දැන් පෙන්නනවා.
This briefing was convened by members of the United People's Freedom Alliance following the adjournment of Parliament.
One incident was the mace being taken away by the Sergeant-at-Arms. Parliament activities will not be valid after this. Voting that takes place in an invalid parliament is not valid.
කීප වාරයක් ප්‍රකාශයට පත් කර තිබෙනවා. ඒ වගේම කිසිම වළංගු භාවයක් නැති පාර්ලිමේන්තුවක් ලෙස කටයුතු කිරීම නිසා ඡන්ද ප්‍රකාශයන් කිසිවක් වළංගු වන්නේ නැහැ.
Any person, including the executive president, does not have the power to accept the legality of an illegal function that took place in parliament. As parliamentarians, we request the president to dismiss all proceedings that took place following the speaker's illegal action.
කිසිම දෙයක් නීත්‍යානුකූල ලෙස පිළිගන්න එපා කියලා.
අර බටහිර සහ යුරෝපා තානාපතිපුරු උඩින් වැඩ සිටින සඳ විජිත හේරත් මැති සඳ ඊළඟට සුමන්තිරන් මැති සඳ නැගිට සභාවේ සක්‍රීය දායකත්වයක් දෙමින් නව යෝජනා කෙටුම්පත් පිරිනමන සඳ මේ ඔක්කොම දේවල් මේ එකවර සිදු වෙන්නේ කොහොමද? රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ අගමැතිතුමා
When I saw Ranil Wickremesinghe seated, for a moment I felt that Rohana Vijayveera was reborn. I felt that Vijitha Herath and Anura Dissanayake have commenced a deadly fight to appoint Rohana Vijayveera as the Prime Minister. This reveals their partnership. Apart from this partnership, ambassadors representing the West and Europe are closely monitoring the implementation of orders given to Vijitha Herath and Sumandiran. Who is responsible for this conspiracy? The Speaker's act was according to whose wish? The Speaker says that from the look of it, they claim majority. In that case, if someone releases air, they will also count as a vote. We are fed up of all the drama, and this is why we say this country needs an election.
මේ කවට ජවනිකා මේ රටට දැන් බලලා ඇති වෙලා අපි ඒ නිසායි කියන්නේ පාර්ලිමේන්තු මැතිවරණයක් මේ රටට ඕන.
දැන් රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ ඇවිල්ලා කියනවලු දැන් මං අගමැතියා.
It seems that Ranil Wickremesinghe is claiming to be the Prime Minister again. However, the President says that he will not appoint Ranil Wickremesinghe as the Prime Minister under any condition. So the President will appoint someone else as the Prime Minister. And therefore, I would like to state that the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka today is Mahinda Rajapaksa and will continue in that position. This government will go forward. We are preparing to face the High Court. Thereafter, we will request for a people's mandate in a legal manner. We can commence our duties following the verdict from court on the 7th.
Now, at the conclusion of this media briefing, the parliamentarians of the JVP also held a media briefing.
The first signal that this government does not have the majority was given when the motion to suspend standing orders was approved in Parliament. When the no confidence motion was submitted, it could have been taken up for voting. The motion came before the House and they started to panic. Apart from that, they did not ask for a vote. At that time, Mahinda Rajapaksa got up and left the chamber. He told me that he was leaving. He must have thought that it would be better for them to lose when he was not present in the chamber. He must have thought that it was more respectful rather than it happening in front of his eyes. We saw Mahinda Rajapaksa at the most helpless level in his political history. If he has some shame remaining, he should resign. What we ask is whether the people should suffer because of a personal issue between Ranil and Maitri.
අපි කියන්නේ මෛත්‍රී සහ රනිල් අතර තියෙන පෞද්ගලික ගැටුම මේ රටේ ජනතාව ඔක කියන්න ඕන. අපි නම් කියන්නේ දෙන්න කාමරයකට දාලා දොර වහ ගන්න ඕන. එක්ක විකාගෙන ඉවර වෙන්න ඕන. එක්ක බදාගෙන ඉවර වෙන්න ඕන. ජනතාවගේ
We hope that he will act as per the mandate at least for an hour. He says he has the trumps. The conspiracy has been defeated politically. The president has to now appoint a new prime minister.
දැන් නව අගමැතිවරයෙක් සහ අමාත්‍ය මණ්ඩල ජනාධිපතිවරයෙක් විසින් පත් කළ යුතුයි.
None of the decisions that were taken today will be void. The parliament was convened at this time by the orders of the president. It was not approved in parliament that Ranil Wickremesinghe is the prime minister. What was approved was the motion of no confidence against Mahinda Rajapaksa, the government and the cabinet of ministers. That is what was approved. If someone thinks this cannot go forward, can it go according to the system that existed? Do not make this unstable. Listen to the parliament and establish a government.
එනිසා අපි කියන්නේ අස්ථාවර භාවයට පත් නොකර පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ සංයුතියේ ස්වභාවයට හුම්කම් දීලා ආණ්ඩුවක් ස්ථාපිත කරන්න. පාර්ලිමේන්තු ඉසුරු හැරීම සඳහා පාර්ලිමේන්තු තුනෙන් දෙකක යෝජනාවක් වුණා. එවැනි යෝජනාවක් ගෙනෙන්නේ නම් ජනතා විමුක්ති පෙරමුණට සහාය දෙන්න ලෑස්ති.
The Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Sajith Premadasa, expressed these views at the parliamentary complex today.
Where do you go from here?
Well,
don't be surprised by what has happened. It's merely that democracy has prevailed. Democracy has worked.
Has it though? At the moment it seems to be at an impasse.
No, if you were observing as a renowned journalist at what took place on the floor of the House, it's quite apparent. It's absolutely unnecessary for politicians to give new interpretations. What happened on the floor of the House? Democracy prevailed. The Honourable Speaker, at all instances, requested the members of Parliament to participate in a vote, even for the suspension of standing orders and for the vote of no confidence. You would have observed that the majority were on their seats. They didn't want to disrupt the process because we had the numbers. And you had the minority, that is minority in Parliament, trying to disrupt, distract and destroy the democratic process.
What should Mr. Rajapaksa do now?
No, it's not up to me to tell the ex-president what he should do. I think he's quite capable of coming to his own conclusions regarding his future steps. But it's not what Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa should do. It's what all of us should do. It's what all of us should do for our motherland, Sri Lanka. Democracy has to prevail. This particular democratic victory should never ever be used to promote personal political agendas, vengeance, violence. Not at all. We don't want to use this to create internal civil strife. We want to use this memorable occasion to enhance democracy, to promote freedom, to focus on the economic and social rights of the people of our country. You know, as this circus is going on, there are millions who are in poverty. There are millions without shelter. Millions are landless. So we have to understand priority lies there and nowhere else.
So the President should now swear in Mr. Wickramasinghe as Prime Minister.
The democratic process entails that the majority should be given the opportunity to govern. So Honourable Ranil Wickramasinghe, as the leader of this alliance of parties with the United National Front as the helm, should be given the opportunity to form the government and serve Mother Sri Lanka.
Will he be given the opportunity?
Then again, I don't want to impute intentions onto those particular decision makers. It's up to them to decide. But they should follow the democratic path. Democracy should prevail. And democracy certainly is victorious.
One more question. What's going to happen?
You can ask many more questions. I don't mind.
Okay, so what's going to happen at tomorrow's session then?
Excuse me?
What's going to happen at the session in Parliament tomorrow? What do you expect to happen?
Well, I think tomorrow's sessions, as to what's on the order paper, there's a procedure that you have to follow. I believe hopefully there'll be a party leaders meeting, and at that meeting, the specifics of the agenda tomorrow will be thoroughly discussed, I hope.
All right. To help me understand, who is the Prime Minister tomorrow? Who's going to sit in the Prime Minister's position?
Well, I think the events in the next few hours will determine that. I'm pretty sure that His Excellency the President will ask our Honourable Prime Minister, to us he's still the Prime Minister, Honourable Ranil Wickramasinghe, to form the government. That is my democratic hope.
A man he said he will never work with as Prime Minister. He will never ask to be Prime Minister again. He's going to ask him to be Prime Minister tomorrow.
Well, you know, they say a week is a long time in politics. I would want to say a millisecond is a long time in politics. And there are no permanent friends or permanent enemies. I think certain declarations, proclamations and statements are given in an emotional environment. I think when sanity prevails, the right thing will be done by the country. And always, number one, we have to keep in mind democracy. The democracy should prevail. Democracy should be victorious.
Several members of parliament representing the ruling party pledged support to the UNP today.
Wasantha Senanayake, who held a ministerial position, held a lengthy discussion with Deputy Leader of the UNP Sajith Premadasa and Assistant Leader of the UNP Ravi Karunanayake. This is the way in which our camera captured Wasantha Senanayake drafting a letter resigning from his ministerial position. I will meet with the President and hand over my letter of resignation. I joined the ruling party believing that they had the majority. If there is no majority, it is difficult for me to hold a ministerial position. I did not remove myself from the UNP in the first place. I also acted as an MP from the UNP. I only pledged my support to the government. I am still of that stance. That is something I always stand by. If any party shows a majority, I will support them. That is in order to work for my people. I wasn't able to work for my people in Polonnaruwa for 3 years. I never left the UNP. I was always a member of the United National Party and its trade unions. The President invited me and appointed me the State Minister of Plantation Industries. I tried to serve my people for 14 days in that position, but I never left the party. I would like to responsibly state that I will resign from that ministerial position as of now. 2 parliamentarians out of the 3 who pledged support to the opposition within the parliamentary chambers earlier today provided reasons for their decisions. They set out on a shameless political mission to buy over parliamentarians in order to establish a majority. But when they realized they do not have 113, they dissolved parliament. We didn't give prominence to ministerial positions, but to the democracy of this country. I was frustrated because they have dragged the party down to a point of no return. Therefore, I decided to join today to aid in restoring the constitutional right and the law in the country.
නීතිය යුක්තිය එය ජය ගැනීම සඳහා ගෙන ගිය අරගලයේදී ඒකට දායකත්වය ලබා දෙන්න සියලු දේවල් කැප කරලා මම කල්පනා කරා මේකට එකතු වෙන්න ඕන කියලා.
Co-Cabinet spokesperson Minister Mahinda Samarasinghe says Mahinda Rajapaksa will remain as Prime Minister until President Maithripala Sirisena appoints a new Premier.
The President has removed the former Prime Minister and appointed a new Prime Minister legally through this Gazette. These 2 Gazette notifications have not been challenged to date. It was the dissolution of Parliament which was challenged before the Supreme Court. It was challenged when the election was gazetted. A release was issued stating that the Speaker will take steps to send a copy of a letter to the President signed by 122 members of Parliament claiming that the appointment of the Prime Minister and the Cabinet of Ministers are unconstitutional in order to take appropriate action according to the Constitution. Once the President receives that report, he will take steps constitutionally. That is all I can say. There is no instability. It is His Excellency the President who has to decide if a new government will be appointed or not. Until such time, the current government will function. They have not signed this to keep a government in power. Keep that in mind. They have signed this motion not for a particular Prime Minister nor in favour of a UNP government. The President will decide who has the majority. So the President will seek legal advice and take the necessary constitutional measures. It is only the President who has been vested with powers under the Constitution to appoint and remove a Prime Minister. It happens as per his will. So he will act according to the Constitution.
The United People's Freedom Alliance Parliamentary Group met at the Presidential Secretariat this evening.
The parliamentary group convened at the Presidential Secretariat at 4 this evening. The meeting was chaired by President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. Ministers and parliamentarians expressed these views following the meeting. We will take future decisions following a party leaders' meeting which will be presided over by the President and the Prime Minister. We would like to make clear to the people that an election is a basic function of democracy. We will carry out a program to ensure that the people's right to vote is upheld. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa is the one who ended the war, united the country and initiated the fastest development drive our country has seen. These minuscule incidents in Parliament do not bother him. He will continue to be the Prime Minister and we will continue to function as the Cabinet of Ministers and the country will go ahead. We discussed and agreed to go to Parliament tomorrow. We will go to Parliament and work according to the agenda. If the Speaker can select a new Prime Minister, there should be a new Prime Minister in the seat tomorrow. I can say with certainty that there won't be a new Prime Minister. It will be Mahinda Rajapaksa.
Supporters of both parties were present near the parliamentary complex today.
The group supporting Mahinda Rajapaksa held a demonstration opposite the parliamentary entrance against the incidents at the parliament. A group of UNP supporters and politicians celebrated in this manner. They arrived near the main entrance of the parliament. The police took steps to call in the anti-riot squad along with water cannon trucks. UNP supporters and politicians celebrated in this manner.
It was reported today that the President will meet the party leaders of the United National Front tomorrow morning. A media briefing was organized by the government to explain its stance on the letter sent by the Speaker. Speaking there, Minister Vasudeva Nanayakkara had said that the President had spoken to the Speaker over the phone regarding the letter. The Minister has added that the Prime Minister will make a special statement in Parliament tomorrow regarding the future course of action of the government. Still local news, following the parliamentary sessions, the US Ambassador to Sri Lanka, Elena B. Tilplate, sent out the following tweet.
The tweet reads, "Honoured to attend reconvening of Sri Lanka Parliament this morning to see democracy in action. Very lively but glad this institution is once again fulfilling constitutional role."
Moving on to more local news, the Monetary Board of the Central Bank at its meeting held yesterday decided to reduce the statutory reserve ratio applicable on all rupee deposit liabilities of commercial banks by 1.5 percent points to 6%.
The Monetary Board has decided to increase the standing deposit facility rate of the central bank by 75 basis points to 8% and the standing lending facility rate of the central bank by 50 basis points to 9%. The Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy, made the following remarks.
The abolishing of the fuel pricing formula, how do you think that it will affect the fiscal side?
My understanding is it hasn't been abolished. It is being done in a different way. But the principle of having some kind of mechanism or process to adjust fuel prices to reflect movements in international oil prices, that is still there. But it's not a regular, once every 2 months adjustment.
Governor, we heard that the FIU has signed a MOU with the Department of Motor Vehicles to investigate into money laundering. Now, recently we heard these politicians, talking about giving money to crossover and all this. The FIU going to investigate that, to see if that money is through money laundering.
Fortunately for me, the operations of the FIU are entirely independent. So I don't know and I don't need to know.
Moving on to more local news, a press briefing was held recently to create awareness on an event organized by the Royal Colombo Golf Club to identify new golfing talent.
The event, which is named a Day of Discovery, will act as a platform to recruit young golfers, both male and female, between the ages of 9 to 13. The event will take place on the 10th of December 2018. Among other dignitaries, Group Director of the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited, Shanti Bhagirathan, was present at the occasion. MTV MBC is an official sponsor of the event.
The Day of Discovery is very simply a talent search. We are looking for the best talent in Sri Lanka. Unfortunately, in Sri Lanka, we don't have many opportunities or the infrastructure for a mass amount of golfers to try and pursue their love of the game. And when we look at the restrictions and facilities that we have, the only way forward that the RCGC Junior Clinic sees is to try and identify the most talented kids and then try and give a selected group of kids the opportunity to try and develop in the game.
We're delighted to be part of this project with our partners, and we look forward to finding a new generation of golfers that will hopefully end up becoming champions.
Today is World Diabetes Day, the world's largest diabetes awareness campaign, which is marked every year on the 14th of November, seeks to mitigate the risk of diabetes, paving the way for a healthy future generation.
World Diabetes Day was created in 1991 by the International Diabetes Federation and the World Health Organization in response to growing concerns about the escalating health threats posed by diabetes. Every year, the World Diabetes Day campaign focuses on a dedicated theme that runs for 1 or more years. The theme for World Diabetes Day 2018-19 is family and diabetes.
Stress has now been recognized by the world as the most important single factor precipitating this condition in different groups of people. It could be due to nutritional inadequacy, like food insufficiency. It could be psychosocial problems.
Well, that is a wrap of Primetime News. We leave you tonight with some footage that was captured in Parliament today. I'm Shahan Jurampati. Good night and take care.